Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell Inspiron 15 3511. Alright, so we're going to need a JIS1 screwdriver, and we're going to go ahead and remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, if the screws come out, you want to make sure to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. It looks like these are going to actually stay attached. Okay, this one comes out, but this one seems like it stays in. Alright, so the way I keep them in order, I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So most likely these three down here and these two are going to also come out, and then these corner ones are going to stay in. Alright, this laptop was dropped on the floor, so the power button's kind of like jammed in and it's not working properly. So we're going to see if we can get it to work by removing the screws and then checking what's messed up in there. Most likely the motherboard or something got shifted and then the power button fell inside, but we'll see. It's kind of strange. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, let's go ahead and continue removing all these screws. Alright, we've got all of them out now. Oops, I keep dropping it over. There we go. Alright, so these two screws that kind of stay in, they help with removing the cover. As you can see, it created a gap there. Okay, so what we're going to do, I usually get my fingernail in there, and then I'll slide another one down the side. You can use plastic pry tools for this, but basically we're pulling up the cover. I'm pulling up with these fingers and pushing down with this one, and then I'm sliding my fingernail along here to pop the clips. Okay. Sometimes this will get stuck, so you might have to undo the screw again while you're pulling on it, as you can see. Alright, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm going to pull up on here, push this down, and same thing, just run my fingernail along there, and you can see they pop up. Again, you might want to check the screw. Oh, okay, it looks like that one's okay. It just had more clips holding it. So basically, as you pull on it, it should release. If it's stuck here, you kind of just wiggle it around as you kind of pull it, and there we go. We got the bottom cover off. So here you can see these two screws actually have little metal washers that hold them into place. Okay, and you can see all the clips underneath. All right, not much else there, so we'll set that aside. Okay, so I think they might be lucky. Is the power button on that side? Yes, it is. So the power button's on this side, so what we're going to do, we're going to undo these screws here and check the power button itself. But let's go ahead and disconnect the battery real quick and then remove it to make sure that it's not plugged in and powered. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to undo the battery screws here. Same thing with the JIS1 screwdriver. Again, keep all the screws in order. Alright, they actually have little arrows here pointing to where the screws go, so it points to the side so you don't get confused and put the screw up there, like in this spot. This one also had a screw. Okay, and then we have another screw down in this corner, so it looks like there's only 3 screws. Interesting. Okay, we're going to also remove the hard drive here, but let's go ahead and disconnect the battery cable. So I just use my fingernails at the wings of this connector, and you kind of just wiggle it to pull it out. Technically, you don't really need to take the whole battery out to be able to disconnect this, so we can technically stop there, but we're going to remove this as well. The problem is their power button is jammed, so we kind of need to take out a bit more stuff. But I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way just to be safe. Alright. Technically, I don't think we need to actually remove this stuff, but I'm going to do it anyways. There's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. Okay. We're going to lift this bracket out. So once you get the 4 screws, you can lift this. You want to be careful here. We're going to flip this latch up. Okay. And then once we flip that latch up, we can get underneath, grab the cable, and then kind of wiggle and pull it out. Okay, if it's stuck, you might have to pull slightly upwards when you pull it, and there we go. Alright, so this hard drive connector, you can actually pop this out. I don't know, it looks like they added this afterwards, because usually laptops won't come with these Western Digital Blue type SSDs. Okay, but anyways, you can pop the connector out just like that. Be careful not to pull on this cable. And then there's 4 screws holding the hard drive or SSD in place that you would use to remove it and transfer it over. Anyways, I'm going to leave this connected here and set that aside. Now we're just going to remove the battery here. The battery does have this cable here that you would have to remove to swap over to the other battery. It's hard for me to tell which way this connector goes, but it looks like you would pull it straight up, right? I don't want to mess around with it and accidentally damage it since they don't have any issues with their battery. Their battery model number here is G91J0. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now that we have the battery out, we're going to carefully open up the laptop. And then usually what you want to do is press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. But because their power button is jammed, we can't do that. So what we're going to do, let me move their screws aside. What we're going to do now, let me zoom out a little bit because I have the screws in my way and I can't really move everything far enough so to stay zoomed in. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna leave the laptop slightly open like this, and we're gonna undo these screws here that are holding the hinge down. Okay, so let's see, do we have, interesting, is it just these two screws holding that entire hinge? I'm surprised. Usually that wouldn't be enough, and that's kind of dangerous, so you want to be careful opening and closing this because you can break the hinge mounts. It looks like they use some metal to hold them in place, so it's actually good. All right, you can see now that we removed these two screws, the whole bottom or the palm rest is separating. So now that we've removed those two screws, we're going to slowly close the laptop, and that way we have this raised up slightly. Okay, give me a second, I'm getting some messages. Let me make sure to mute that so it doesn't keep beeping. Okay, there we go. Next we're going to remove this screw over here. Okay. All right, so this one is holding this board down. We need to get access to this board so that we can access the power button. Make sure you don't mix up where the screws go. That one and this last one down here. Okay, we might actually have to take the whole screen out because their screen isn't lighting up, they said. It's just staying black. All right, so now we got this board out. We can kind of wiggle this. We might have to open this further. Okay, be careful here because you don't want the metal to damage the casing. So there we go, we got this out. And here you can see, I'm gonna actually flip this latch off so we can disconnect this. And here you can see how the power button is. Oh man, is this the power button? So there's the power switch here, but okay, so the power switch is this tiny little button there. And if it's slightly misaligned, it's not going to work. So, okay, I can feel it click with my fingernail. When I push it, I feel it clicking. But it looks like the plastic here is what's broken. If you look at this, the plastic here is like bent. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, no, it's not. It looks like this is removable. So let's go ahead and remove it. Oh, we're going to have to use a JIS 0 screwdriver to remove that. So let's go ahead and switch over. Okay. And we'll remove this. The thing is, I don't know if they sell a replacement of this. You can see this power button here, okay? And this thing is all bent up. So what I'm going to try and do is use some needle nose pliers to try and bend it back straight. And hopefully that will at least fix the power button issue. The screen issue is another issue we're going to have to figure out as well. Okay. I'm going to use these kind of flat-nosed bent pliers so I can get in there and try and bend it back. So I'm just going to try and grip it and just make it straight again. Okay. I think that's working, but as you can see, the plastic is actually like damaged. So I don't know if this is going to hold up or not. We're going to have to see if somebody sells like a replacement of this piece. I mean, it's just a piece of plastic. I don't see why they wouldn't have it. Either that, or I can try something to try and extend this to strengthen it. Maybe with some super glue and baking soda. Okay, so we got this somewhat bent straight again. Let's go ahead and try and put it back together and see if it can click the button somehow. Okay, we'll put this screw back in. The other issue is the screen's not coming up, and I don't know if it's the screen cable or if it's the screen itself. like if this cable is loose. I don't think it's the screen cable. I did notice some stuff on the screen that looks like it's damaged, so we'll see once we get this all back together. Okay, line that all up, drop that back in. Okay, get that all lined up and back into place. All right, looks good. Slide your finger over to latch it back down. Okay. And now we'll get these 3 screws back in that we took out. So we got this one here. Oops, sorry, I'm out of view. That one there. This one here. And the last one here. Okay. Now let me see if I can even push the button here real quick. We're gonna carefully open this up and yeah, I don't know if that button's gonna work. I might have to do something with super glue to kind of make it like a point in the middle, but I don't know if that's gonna work because the plastic needs to be very long lasting. So what we're gonna do, I mean, it does feel a little bit clicky, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put the hinge down and test it real quick. Let's go ahead and close this, and we'll get these 2 screws back in. Okay. All right, so we got all of that. We're gonna press and hold the power button. We're gonna open it up, press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. Make sure it's actually clicking. So I do feel some clicking, so we're gonna hold this for about 15 seconds. This is to drain any residual power and make it a lot safer to work on. It only takes 15 seconds, so don't skip this step, all right? Some people ask if they need to do it. Technically, no, but it's 15 seconds that could save you from frying your entire motherboard or your screen. So just take those 15 seconds and do it, all right? All right, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. We're gonna double check this connection. It looks fine. Flip that latch back down. Likely, I'm going to have to take this whole thing apart. You can see the stick of RAM here. If you wanted to see, pull those 2 tabs aside, it pops up. And you can look at it here. This is PC4 3200AA. You can use any PC4 3200AA, you should be fine. So if you want, you can get 32 gigs by getting 2 16 gig sticks, or you can add another 8 gig and have 16 gigs, which is already plenty. They have an SSD here. This is a M.2 PCIe NVMe. Looks like you do need to use a JIS 0 screwdriver to remove this. Okay. Okay, once you remove that, it comes up slightly at an angle like the RAM, and then you can kind of slide this back. Okay, so they put a thermal pad on this metal plate, and then the SSD is just right here like that. You can actually get the full size length ones that go all the way out here, and then you would actually just put the screw straight to there. You don't use this metal plate if you do that. If you try and put the metal plate on, you'll end up damaging your SSD because these things will like jam into it. Alright, so anyways, we'll get the SSD back in. Put this down. This has little feet here that kind of go into these slots, so keep that in mind when you go to put this back together. You do have to slot it in like that, okay? There we go. Get the screw back in. Okay, let's go ahead and get the battery and the SSD back in, the other hard drive. Let me show you what I mean with the screen. I don't know if it will be picked up on camera, but I can already see from here. I don't know if you see that kind of smudging inside the screen. That's a broken internal damage on the screen. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and plug this in and see. I was telling them I could at least check if it works with an external monitor, and then we can decide if we want to replace the screen depending on how much the parts cost and everything. Okay, so gotta get the battery here. Line that up. All right, the battery had 3 screws, so we'll put those 3 screws back in. That one, and the last one down here. All right, then we got the 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. Make sure that latches up. Slide this cable into place. Make sure it goes in all the way, You'll know because the wings will go past the raised plastic parts. Okay, can be a little bit tricky. Come on. There we go. All right, and then latch that down. We'll get the hard drive screws back in here. All right, 4 screws. Might have to close the door real soon. I forgot people are coming home now. Okay, last couple screws. And then we'll power this up and see what happens. I don't know if they charged it all the way. If they didn't, I'm gonna have to plug it in as well, otherwise it's not gonna turn on. Let's go ahead and open this up and we'll press the power button and see if anything happens. Nothing happened. I definitely feel it clicking. Hopefully it's clicking far enough. Anyways, let me go ahead and get the plug and I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Let's plug this thing in. Charge light came on. Caps lock light is on. Like it's just randomly on. Nothing's happening here. So I'm gonna try pressing and holding the power button and see if that caps lock light turns off. Oh, it turned off already. Looks like the power button does turn it on and off. When I press the power button, caps lock light's off. When I press the power button again, caps lock light's on. So that's really strange. It's like instantly on, instantly off. That's doesn't make sense. Let's go ahead and try popping the RAM out again. Sometimes a stick of RAM is bad and you can kind of clean it by doing this. That's only if it's not doing anything at all. If it's giving like errors from like memtest or something, then that's not going to do anything. It's usually the memory itself is bad. Anyways, we're going to open this again, power it up. Same thing, caps lock light is on. So, oh, it turned itself off. Okay, interesting. Is it doing something this time? Huh. I don't know if this computer is even doing anything. Okay, I don't know if you can see right now, caps lock light's off. Actually, okay, it's on again. And then it went off. So I don't know what's happening. The power button's definitely fixed. You can see the light on here is blinking. They said that it was connecting to their Bluetooth, so I have a feeling what's going on is the screen is probably completely dead. But usually if you break the screen, this will still light up at least, so it's very strange that it's not even lighting up. Yeah, I'm gonna try plugging it into an HDMI monitor and we'll see what happens. But so far right now the caps lock button is not lighting up anymore. It only lights up when I push the power button. Sometimes, not even always. Right now, nothing. There, now the caps lock light's on, but nothing happens. Like it stays permanently on. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I'm gonna test it with the HDMI monitor. We'll see if anything happens, and then we'll go from there. All right, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I'm back and I verified that it does work on the external monitor. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take this out just to see if there's the cable under here that's messed up. So let's go ahead and flip this latch up. Okay, I already did the battery drain and actually left the battery disconnected. Okay, we'll lift this up, pull that out, there we go. Then we also have the wireless antennas going here, so we are going to have to remove the wireless antennas. So let's go ahead and remove that. We're using the JIS1 screwdriver still. Okay, we'll get that screw out. We'll lift that up and set that aside. Okay. Alright, so now that we've got that, you can see black wires going to the black arrow, white wires at the white arrow. To remove these antenna wires, you just go from the tail, hold the wireless card here, and then pop it up just like that. You go underneath from the tail and just pop it straight up. Okay, it helps to kind of use 2 fingers if you can, but there we go. We don't need to remove the wireless card. We're going to leave it there, but basically it comes out just like the RAM. You just kind of wiggle it and pull it. Well, I guess let's remove it since it's sticking up loose like that. Okay, we'll set that aside. All right, then we're going to get this stuff out here. If you're wondering, there's the speaker cable that goes here, runs along down there, and then a wire runs from that speaker all the way across to the other speaker here. Okay, anyways, we're going to go ahead and remove the wireless antenna wires. So just thread it out from under here. Okay, I don't know why they put the speaker wire on top to make it annoying, but anyways, we're going to unthread this. Okay, make sure you get both both wireless antennas out. So we're going to unthread that. We're going to lift it out from over there. I'm going to pull it over this way, and you can see now it's kind of annoying because it's under here. So we're going to have to kind of just slowly work our way over here. I guess I'm going to actually lift the speaker out. Oops, sorry, we should zoom out here so you can see. So the speaker just has these little rubber things that hold it in place. But yeah, I'm going to get the wires up and out over, and then I'm going to get them underneath the speaker now. When I put it back, I'm not going to put it like how they did because that's kind of stupid. There's no point making the wires like overlap each other so that it's more difficult. Or maybe, I don't know, you can if you want. Maybe they don't have a way to do it without it, but that's how they had it. Okay, then we're going to unthread this, do one at a time so you don't accidentally damage them. Okay, carefully. And there we go, we got the wireless antennas up here. Okay, what else do we got? You got the DC jack charge port here as well. But what we are going to do is we're going to remove the hinges. Okay, I'm getting a scam call. Let me get rid of that. Let me zoom out. Okay, so what you want to do, again, you want to open the laptop slightly, and then we're going to take these screws out. Okay, so there's 2 screws on each hinge. Make sure you put them in the right spots. So keep track of these. Okay, we got this one, and we got this one here. Okay, usually what I do is I hang the computer off the edge of my desk, but then it's harder for me to kind of record what I'm doing. But I would open the computer 90 degrees, hang the keyboard on put the keyboard on the edge of the desk, and then have the screen hanging over. Okay, so we'll get that one, and we got one more here. Okay, now that we got all these screws out, we can actually let this drop down. Okay, we're gonna pull these hinges back about 90 degrees-ish. Now we can actually lift this up, okay, and then we can actually slide it out. Okay, there you can see we got the entire thing out. If you need to replace the DC jack charge port, you can now actually get access to this, pull this out, and then you can disconnect the cable there. Okay, this one comes out just like the battery. I'm going to set this aside for now because we're done with this piece. Okay, and let's go ahead now and take a look at the screen to see if we can do anything with this. Okay, so this design, I'm wondering how it clips on here. I think it looks like these clips come out separately from the rest of the screen. So I think this actually you kind of lift up and get under there. I just used my fingernail, and yep, here you can see I got under, and now it's kind of popping out, and we should be able to kind of get this whole piece off. I don't know why it's stuck here, but there you go. All right, and take note of which way it goes. You can see the flat side here, that goes towards the end here. And then you have this one where it's just all smooth but shorter. That one goes towards the screen. Okay, so we'll set that here. Let me see if I can do a closer look for you guys when I do this. Okay, so we got here. I'll move the hinge out of the way. I just get my fingernail underneath here, okay, in this gap. And you can see I can pop it out just like that. And then the front, you kind of push on it and wiggle it. You might have to pull on it this way towards yourself. Oops, it clipped back in. Okay, this one's kind of a little tricky, but there we go. You kind of just wiggle it and pop, and it pops out. Okay, hopefully you were able to see that. Sorry that the camera kind of moved over, but there we go. Okay, so now that we got that, oops, let's zoom back out. now that we got that, we're gonna fold these back again. Okay, can fold it further than 90 degrees. And then the tricky part is getting this out because I think there's adhesive holding it. So we're gonna carefully, we're pulling up on this. All right, you wanna be careful not to put too much pressure on the screen if your screen is still good. If your screen's broken, it doesn't really matter. But we're gonna try and separate this plastic piece from the screen, the LCD itself. And you wanna be careful because there's adhesive there. And you don't wanna peel the adhesive of the screen completely out. It's fine if it comes up, but you wanna be careful because if you're pulling the adhesive of the screen and not, so here you can see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see in there because it's too dark, but there's an adhesive there that we're slowly peeling away from the screen, and we're just going to work our way over. Okay, so just continue working your way over like this. There we go, and then you can work your way up the sides as well. Same thing, I'm pulling up from the inside and I'm pushing in towards the center, so we're basically like twisting it around like that to undo the latches. There you go. Okay, got most of that out. Then we're going to work our way at the top and do the same thing. I'm going to rotate it so it's easier to work on. Basically pull up from the center and then push down and inwards from the edge, outside edges. And there we go. Okay, it's slowly disconnecting. Just like that. They have adhesive holding this as well. Okay, so we're going to slowly, carefully continue pulling this just like that, and then same thing with the middle, I mean this side, pulling up from the center again and rotating or twisting it. There we go. So we got all of that. Now we got the, again, the bottom is the hardest part because of the way it sticks to the screen stuff. So let me see if it's coming, if it's separating. Okay, yeah, it's separating properly. So we're gonna go ahead and continue pulling up from here. And there we go, we almost got it out completely. There we go. Okay, so here we go, we got the screen bezel out. Here you can see the adhesive that holds on to, or sticks on there. And this is the plastic film, excuse me, that I was talking about. You don't want to really rip this plastic film out. Underneath here are sensitive screen components, so you don't want to accidentally rip that out. Okay, let's see, how is this screen held into place here? So, I see on one side they have a stretch release tab. I don't see the one on here. Usually there's stretch release adhesive tab strips here. It's missing from this side. Strange. Alright, let me show you here. So we have this one stretch release adhesive tab here. So what we're gonna do, let me see if I can do this and show you guys. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna use some small needle nose pliers or tweezers to grab this. Right, you see this piece here? So we're gonna grab that and we're just gonna pull it straight back, okay? So away from where it's coming from, you wanna pull it straight out. And you kinda wanna go slow, because if you pull too fast, it'll just end up snapping. And also if it gets caught on something sharp, it'll just snap. This kind of stretch release adhesive, it's the super thin type. Usually this kind's not reusable, so most likely we're just gonna have to put any other kind of double stick adhesive in here to hold it in place, because most likely this adhesive isn't going to be reusable. We'll try and reuse it, but most of the time it's not going to be reusable. Okay, right, so you can see pulling this stretch release adhesive out. Once I do that, I kind of let this stretch back in. Okay, and then we'll start here and then we'll continue pulling and try and grab the end so that it doesn't just slingshot out. Okay, I think we're almost there. I'll let this kind of go back in. It's going to end up sticking to itself, and then we're not going to be able to reuse it at all. But, all right, there we go. All right, so here's the stretch release adhesive here that they have inside. We're going to set that aside. If we're lucky, we can reuse this. If not, it's no big deal. We'll just put a small amount of double stick tape. Okay, so we have these wireless antennas here. We got to keep them out of the way. And then we have this other cable here that we also have to keep out of the way. So, all right, there's supposed to be another stretch release adhesive strip here, but I don't see the tab to grab here. Oh, it's hiding. It's under there. It's really hard to get to. Let's see if we can grab it with the needle nose pliers. Okay. Oh. All right, I got it. So, uh-oh. It looks like this one's torn. See? Uh-oh. So when it tears like that, you're pretty much screwed. I think it's because this is the one where it's cracked. As you can see. I don't know if it cracked and it pulled on it on the adhesive somehow. But I'm going to slowly, carefully, like, pull on the screen. Oops, sorry. I'm going to slowly, carefully just pull up on the screen. See if I can... If I'm lucky, I can kind of get under there. Okay. And what I can do here is I can start, like, sliding something under here. I just use, like, popsicle sticks. You can use whatever works for you. Like old credit cards or something. Okay. So I'm going to get a popsicle stick here and just stick it under there. And hopefully we can get it to lift a little bit. If we can get it to lift enough, we can hopefully grab that adhesive and then pull on it. Sometimes it helps to like heat this, but usually this kind of adhesive, you're not supposed to heat it. It just comes out from slowly peeling it. Okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this screen's already destroyed from that, the looks of that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try heating this. We'll see if it helps separate it. Got a little heater here. We're gonna plug this in and we'll just slowly start warming it up. Let me unplug some things over here. Okay, plug this in. All right, let's go ahead and start heating this and see what we can do. I don't know how we're gonna heat the adhesive because this screen is pretty thick, and then the back here is like this plastic, you don't want to melt it. Actually, this one's like a metal mixed with plastic. I don't know. It might be enough that we can heat it enough to separate this. Okay. I mean, it's already slightly separating on its own. As you kind of just go slowly, you work your way down, and it should slowly peel up. Okay, and then once you can get enough of it open, you should be able to reach the adhesive that's in there. I can actually see the adhesive down there. It's stretched out, but it's, yeah, I can see it down there. So hopefully we can heat it enough to where we can actually get in there and grab it. This is going to be the long, tedious, boring part. You can actually skip over this, but I want to record this because sometimes the customers like to see what I worked on and what I did. So I'm going to show the entire process, okay? And also you'll see if I ended up breaking anything. But yeah, I'm thinking this here is already, like, the screen is broken from what I'm seeing, this pattern. Yeah, I showed the customer that when they brought it to me. I'm pretty sure their LCD panel's dead and we're gonna need to replace it. But I don't know how I'm gonna get this broken adhesive strip out. I might end up having to just completely destroy the panel. I mean, it's already dead, so I don't think it's gonna matter. We're gonna have to replace it no matter what. But let me try and warm it some more and see if I can somehow get to that. Okay. I can definitely see it in there, but there's no way I can grab that. I don't know if you can see the white tape down there, barely. Come on, focus. Yeah, it's not even gonna focus. All right, anyways, we're gonna keep heating this on both sides. Maybe I should turn it to the higher heat setting. Okay, and this process is probably gonna take a very long time, so I'm just gonna be holding this here. Again, you can just fast forward. Okay, I was able to slide the popsicle stick in a little bit further. I'm gonna continue heating this thing up. It's probably gonna have to get really hot to be able to get that thing out. We're probably gonna have to lift it at least like 2 centimeters, and right now it's just like 3 or 4 millimeters. Or at least a centimeter to get in and grab it. Okay. See how long this process is just to get this when these adhesive things break. That's why I don't like these adhesive strips. But everybody's starting to use that. They used to use little screw mounts, which worked a lot better. Even just the bezels clips are strong enough, so technically the adhesive isn't needed. But I don't know why they put that to make it harder to repair. Okay, we're going to continue working our way up. Okay, I don't think I can pull it further. It's going to end up breaking the screen even more. Okay. Continue heating this up. Slowly going. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna even... Come on. Melt. Customer wants to know approximately price to replace the screen. So we're gonna try and get this out and see. Hopefully it's just the screen, not the cable or the motherboard as well. We'll find out. Okay, it looks like the adhesive is releasing. We're gonna have to keep heating some more. You can see the broken spot basically is still about the same, but it's like spread that way. Also, the plastic here is getting more flexible of the screen cover. Okay, let me see if I can get a popsicle stick in from this side as well. Okay, so now I can actually pull up on this stick, and you can see in there the adhesive. We're gonna try and grab that out. If we can grab it, we can hopefully be able to pull the thing out. So I'm gonna put this way so I can grab it easier. Okay, there we go. So now I got a hold of the adhesive. We're gonna turn the heater off because we don't need it anymore, other than to keep me warm, but I'm fine. All right, so we got this. Here you can see we have the adhesive, and now we just gotta pull this out just like the other one. So just like before, oops, sorry. The heater's in my way. Okay. Continue pulling this out. I can take the popsicle sticks out. And you want to pull straight sideways, don't pull it at an angle, up. All right, just like this. I'm gonna grab here. Oh, okay, well, that one kind of snapped on itself, so it's gonna be, can't reuse too much of it. You can see it's all stuck together. This kind of adhesive, it like, when it sticks to itself, it sticks really strong. So usually once it sticks on itself, it's pretty much gonna be garbage. Here you can see it stuck so strong it just tore. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna cut the other one smaller and use that because the other part is not even there anymore where you're supposed to be able to grab it. All right, so I'll set those aside. Let's put the heater aside. All right, so now that we got both those sticky pull release strips out, we should be able to lift the screen out. Okay, just get under here, and we can actually pull the screen out of here. Oh, be careful because the webcam cable is still attached to this cable. Okay, but here you can see now we have access to the screen here. All right, and if you want, we're gonna actually see if we can pull the, or not pull the cable out, but we're gonna see if we can tighten this cable to see if it'll at least light up. Maybe it just came a little loose and that's why it's not lighting up, but I mean it is definitely cracked. Okay, I'm gonna use this thin tool here to get underneath the screen connector adhesive here, and I'm gonna work my way back up this way, just like this. And then I can grab underneath here and peel this up, hopefully. Come on. Okay, work your way, peeling that adhesive. The connector looks like it's in all the way. There's this flip latch that locks it in. Okay, I'm gonna pull that back. All right, this is how you disconnect it. But we're gonna just plug it back in and see if it lights up. I'm not gonna put the adhesive back in for now because again, we're just gonna see if it lights up first. And then let me check the screen. So the screen model number is actually on here as well. This is how you get the screen model number. It's on the back of the panel. And you can see NV156FHM-ND3. That's the screen model, and it's made by the company BOE. All right, so there we go. We're gonna go ahead and put the screen back together now. So just kind of, oops. So you kind of just drop it back into place. Oh, I can actually see the cracks further in there. So if I tap this, can you see that? Actually, you can't even see it in. Let me see. You have to be like at the right angle. It's not, I don't see it now. Oh, there you go. Do you see that white? Oh man, you can't because of the glare. You can't, but I see the crack going all the way down like that. All right, anyways, let's put this back together and see if it even lights up at all. The thing that worries me is a lot of times, even if these screens are cracked, they should still light up. So I'm a little worried that because it's not lighting up. Oh yeah, now I can actually see where the crack from this, you can see it's going down. There you go. Okay. So we're gonna get the screen bezel back on. We got the model number, that's the important part, and after that we can actually look up for the replacements. Okay, so we got the bezel here. We're gonna slide the bottom back in first, kind of at an angle to get it underneath the hinges. Then we're gonna get that in. Clip these bottom pieces in first, okay? Right, make sure that's all flush down there. Then we'll work our way up the sides. Okay, basically I'm pushing on the outside part and letting it rotate itself in. So it's basically how we took it out, except now we're putting pressure down into the screen. Okay, and then this. So here's what I mean by, okay, let's go ahead and make sure this is all stuck down and clipped. By the adhesive isn't needed. You see this? What do you need that adhesive for? It's all held in with a million clips. So the adhesive that holds the screen in, like this isn't moving anywhere. So I don't know why they put that, but it just makes repairing these things a lot harder. Anyways, let's go ahead and get these little hinge covers back on. So this piece, you just line it back up. Again, you want this part where it changes the angle, the flatness, to go towards the bottom. Okay. And we're gonna get this over the hinge. Make sure you line it up right. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to find where this actually starts. So if you look here, you want to line that up with that there. Okay, and there you go, it clicked in, and then click that all in. And there you go. Make sure the cable obviously is coming out of the hole. You don't want to clamp that down on it. All right, then we get this. Same thing, make sure these are out of the way. Get that over there. Okay. And then again, we want to check over the top here, make sure this piece is lined up. Okay, so you want to make sure this is lined up with that back there, and then you can click it in and click it all in, and it looks good. All right, make sure it's all clicked all the way. Okay, good. Let's zoom out now. Let's put this thing back together and then see if anything different happens. Hopefully the cable's not bad, and hopefully the screens or the motherboard backlight circuit's not fried. Okay, so this is usually how I would do it, is I would have the computer hanging like this. Let me zoom out. Okay, so usually I would have the computer like this, and then I would hang the screen over the edge. All right, just like this. Be careful with all these cables here. All right, and actually need to hang it further over the desk, but just like that. All right, so that's normally how I would do it, and then I would get the screws out that way. Right now I'm gonna hold the hinges in because it's gonna be a little bit easier for me to do it this way now. Okay, so I push the hinges down to close it. Since I took it out this way, I'm gonna have it this way because that's how I have all the screws, and it'll help me put them back in easier. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get these screws back in. Okay, and then we'll get these two screws in. Alright, so now we got the hinge screws all back in. We're going to get the wireless card back into place. So this goes in at an angle up like this. Pinch it in, alright, and then we're going to leave that because we do have to thread these back first. So get all of the wireless antennas back in, just thread them back around those little clippy thingies or whatever, I don't know what you call them. Alright, get that over there, that over there. Make sure it's going in the right wire guides, routes. Okay, over there, this one over here. Okay, then we got these these little raised clippy thingies. Get that back over there. Okay, then we're gonna go back under here, get back over there. Okay, again, I'm gonna get the speaker wire out of the way, this one in. Okay, and then we get this one back under here, and this one over here. Okay, so I think this one actually goes, does it need to go down here? No, I don't think it matters. There we go. Yeah, that helps. Okay, then will these wires reach now, or did I mix them up? Okay, they will reach. So get that lined up. You'll know it's lined up because if you try and move it around, it will stay in place. If you're trying to move it around here, all right, and then you can go ahead and just push it down into place to click it. Same thing with the wire, white wire. Okay. All right, make sure that's lined up. Okay, it's still moving, there we go. Okay, make sure it's lined up in place and then click it down. Come on. Huh? This one's being difficult. There we go. Line it up and click it down. There we go. Okay, and then we just got to get the little screw mount bracket thingy back on top. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Tightened into place. Of course, we do need to plug the battery back in. I didn't show that earlier. Just line these two things up. Make sure that the battery is going in straight, and also make sure you don't, if you get a new battery, you don't plug this upside down. You don't want to plug it where these metal pins are facing up. You want them facing down. Okay, get it all lined up, and then we'll pinch this into place. All right, if I didn't already say it, this is the keyboard connector here. Some models have a keyboard backlight. That's what this little one's for. That's not being used. Touchpad, trackpad connector. I think I didn't mention these things. I don't know why I skipped over all of this. But yeah, anyways, Oh, shoot. Okay, take the battery back out. I almost made a bad mistake. Let me open this up again. We're going to press and hold the power button to drain the power since we plugged it in. Alright, again, you want to hold that for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. Otherwise, you can fry the backlight connector. I don't know if the customer brought this laptop somewhere else to get it checked, because if they did, it could be possible the other place fried it, and that's why the screen wasn't lighting up at all. But I don't know. It could be like the moment they just tried to turn it on, it was like that. And if that's the case, it's pretty rare. I haven't seen that before. But let's go ahead and get this in. Usually the backlight doesn't go out from dropping it. Alright, so we'll get this cable back in. Make sure the raised plastic things go past the wings. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And then just slide your finger over to latch it back. Okay, now let's get the battery back connected. And then, okay, we'll plug this back in and we'll see if anything happens. Alright, so we're going to open this up. We're going to push the power button and see if anything happens. Right now, nothing. Do I have to? Oh, wait, the caps lock light is on. So usually after disconnecting the battery, the BIOS or CMOS real-time clock, whatever, resets. So it's going to actually power cycle multiple times before the computer even turns on. That's normal. So keep that in mind. The screen, even if it's a good one, isn't going to come back right away. It's going to have to like power cycle. So the caps lock light went on, off, on, off. Right now it's on again. I don't know if you can see that. It's off again. Okay. But yeah, so it's going to do that before it will even turn on. But it looks like, I think this screen is completely toast. I don't think anything is going to come on. I do see the light on the side blinking, which means like the screen has a problem. I don't know if you can see that. It's like blinking whites and orange and white and orange. At least on this model, it lets you start up the computer with an external monitor, it seems. So yeah, and I did test with an external monitor. Seems to work. Right now, because the hardware was removed and put back, BitLocker enabled itself. But yeah. Looks like the screen is completely dead. I don't know if they're lucky, if replacing the screen is going to fix it. We'll find out if they, depending on the cost of the screen. But for now, we're just going to close this up. I'm probably not going to make another video of that because it's going to be the same exact process except putting a new screen in. So that's pretty much all there is for this video. Hopefully this helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And again, if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Yeah, every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Here you can see actually the motherboard model number, if you need that, LA-L243P. Okay. Anyways, this is the thumbnail for the video. We're going to put this back. So the bottom cover, you get the bottom in first. Click the edges back down. Make sure to go all around and click it. Then work your way around the sides, up the top, and click that all in. And then this, because the screw's in the way, you're probably going to have to screw this in to get it to click down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully it helped. Welcome to stay as I get all these screws back in. Alright. But yeah. Other than that, there's nothing else to do here. Again, hopefully a screen replacement will fix this one. But the problem is, I don't know if there's going to be free returns on the screen. So, we'll find out. Alright. Get that. And these last few screws. And we should be good to go. And the last screw here. Alright, at least this screen's relatively easy to get apart, minus the dumb adhesive that's not necessary. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's try